And we're black. I mean, back.
I'm black and back.
That's nice.
Real quick, take your asses over to www.uncutsports.com. If you just knew how mine and George's life and the things that we have to, it's like Groundhog Day sometimes here. But go to uncutsports.com. We are telling you, go to uncutsports.com. And guess what? We're telling you to go to uncutsports.com. Hey, by the way, did I mention go to uncutsports.com?
You know what you're not telling them?
What?
Why should they go to uncutsports.com?
Because you know what? This is where all of our shit's going to be. Our blogs, our shows. We're going to have integration with Facebook, all our Twitter accounts there. It's basically the one shop stop for Uncut Sports.
Shouldn't it be one-stop shop?
One stop. I don't know, man. It's a fucking tongue twister. But you guys know. Take your asses over there and subscribe.
And then hopefully one day we'll have a podcast.
Now,
that's on iTunes.
Yeah, that's on iTunes, so you can get that shit. I want to give a quick shout out to Stu Neal. Now, the funny thing about this, remember him and his brother, we did the shout out for him a couple weeks ago because they were
he wrote us a message. Yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to see it.
I looked at it.
He really? What did he say?
He's talking about how one of us is bigger, one of us is smaller, naturally cut in weight, this, that, the other thing.
Yeah.
Stu, I don't know if you've watched the show long enough, but see, this is the fucked up shit that was going through my head when I was reading that. Maybe you don't have the same dad, or maybe your dad only got his dick halfway in for the little guy and all the way in for the big guy. See, that's where my mind went. So I wasn't fucking with you.
I mean, do you see what I got to deal with on a 24/7 basis? Stu is back in the news on Uncut Sports because that motherfucker won our Uncut Sports show bracket. He won the fucking bracket.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah. So anyway, you got to get in touch with me, Stu, at UncutKevin. At uncutKevin@gmail.com and let me know an address so I can send you a shirt and let me know what shirt you want. Now, speaking of basketball, Kentucky won.
That they did.
Everybody expected that. They had what I would consider the best basketball team. But Baylor, on the women's side, had the best basketball player.
I'm going to tell you right now, John Calipari is a goddamn liar.
Wow.
And I'm sorry for you religious freaks. I use his name in vain. I don't give a flying monkey fuck.
Yeah.
He sat there and had the audacity. He had the audacity to say, if I win the game, it's not that big of a deal. It would mean something to the kids, but, it's just another game for me. You are a fucking liar.
Lying ass, man.
Come on. You just won the
Did
national
you see how
title,
much
which
he was
you've never
squirming when
done.
fucking Kansas got within 7? He was like this. Motherfucker was biting his fucking fingernails like a typewriter.
You know what they should have done?
Slow it up. Ball control. Slow it up. Ball. Post up, nigga.
They should have taken that center of his and trimmed that eyebrow. That is the thickest, craziest looking eyebrow. He looks, dude, if you wrapped him up in a turban and put him in a burqa, you'd never know the difference.
That shit is crazy, shorty. He looks like the Cookie Monster.
He looks scary.
Pop him out of a trash can.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, there is potential for the whole entire lottery to be Kentucky players and North Carolina players, and I'm not even kidding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they and Duke, well, maybe one or two from Duke.
Rivers.
Rivers is gone.
I mean, Rivers is
Carolina's got 3 going. Kentucky's probably got 3 going, but they just had good teams.
Yes.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you what. If I think about this year in NCAA hoops, and that does include women's hoops, the player that was talked about the most in the country was not a male this year. Brittney Griner was talked about all the time. And I tell you what, I'm going to say it again. Kentucky had the best team. They were just great as a team. They had so many fucking weapons, and that's what wins championship. But I tell you what, Baylor had the unstoppable fucking player.
Brittney Griner, 6'8".
Yeah. And a half.
And I was listening to Hill and Mark Schlereth's show, and Hill went off on people making disparaging comments about the way Griner looks and Griner this and Griner that, and you should treat her like a woman because she da-da-da-da-da, and all these things. And you know what? In society, when something new comes along, we as a society don't often build them up. We always want to tear it down and pick on it. Ask Jackie Robinson.
Right.
All those guys who had, and I know that sounds strange comparing Brittney Griner to Jackie Robinson, but right now she's getting that spotlight because she's different.
Yeah.
Same with Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was a black guy who could ball.
Right.
And he wasn't supposed to.
Right.
We're not used to seeing 6'8" women be able to dunk, get up and down the court like she is, and can play.
Right.
So yeah, they're gonna tear her down, but that doesn't take away from she's a phenomenal athlete.
So, and people are going to make their comments and stuff, and that's part of being in the limelight.
And you know what? I'm guilty of it. I made a comment, but you know what? I'm not disparaging her ability to play basketball.
Oh no, because she's a straight baller.
Crazy, but these people will just, she's a man. Okay, she's not a
fucking man.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're mad because she can fucking just
ball.
Yeah,
and
basically she could do what fucking Griffin did to fucking Powell last night. Damn, that looked bad for the Lakers. Anyway.
And here's the other thing. For anyone who thinks that she can compete with men, stop.
No. None of that. I mean, you're getting a little carried away.
Yeah, don't get ahead of
But
yourself.
this is the thing, man. What happens next for this girl? Because
She's got options.
She's got some options. Now, you seem to think, I told you today, and what we're talking about is, what is she going to do? Is she
She's a
going to
junior.
come back? She's a junior.
And no woman has ever left early.
Right.
To go to the WNBA.
And you were saying she's going to roll out. And I was agreeing with you, but now she's saying she wants to come back for her senior year at Baylor. And she wants to win another championship because she wants to be in that elite group of girls that have won 2 championships. Now, to me, no.
Sweetie, it's all about that cheddar.
Right. And you're not going to find that cheddar. And I know people are going to bash us for this, but you're not finding that cheddar in the WNBA.
Nope. And we got the stats to back that shit up.
And this is the reason why. I mean, the WNBA is definitely a female league that is doing well, this is what I say, because women's sports, some of them are suffering.
But it was just funny for you to go, the WNBA is a female league. No shit.
I know that was kind of stupid. So are there any girls in that league? Yeah, there is. Well,
here let's put before we get into the money.
Okay.
Here's let me lay out the options for you. You're Brittney Griner.
Right.
You just won a national title.
Right.
You said, or it's rumored that your dream is to play for the LA team.
Right.
Guess who has the number 1 pick?
LA.
You've won a national championship. LA has the number 1 pick.
Right.
If you're her, does that even play into your idea of what you're going to do?
Now, do you want me to answer this question about, like, if I was Brittney?
If you're Brittney Griner.
What am I going to do?
Right.
I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to do, and I'm going to educate some of you people out there who are not educated on it. The first thing I'm going to do is see you bye to Baylor. Bye. I won you guys a national championship. Good luck with the next person that you get in here to do it for you, because it ain't going to be me, bitches. I'm gone. Okay? Now, WNBA, put your asses on hold, because I got to play in the winter. So I'm going to get on that plane. I'm going to get me a big-ass bottle of Smirnoff vodka and a big Russian hat that'll make me probably about 7'5" now, okay, because I'm already 6'8", and I'm going to play for one of those Russian teams.
Why would you do that?
They pay big dough.
They pay big dough?
Yeah, because Diana Taurasi, when she was there, she was making a reported $500,000.
And that was in 2009.
Playing for the Spartak Moscow. Okay?
Now, how does that compare to the WNBA pay?
Well, let me just give you some of let me tell you a little bit about what the salary that for 2012, the salary maximum team salary cap for 2012 is $878,000.
So wait, that's not for a player. That's for the entire team?
That's for the entire
And that's
team.
if the owner chooses to spend that. So that's the max cap.
Now, there's a minimum. That's $840, but that's literally only $30,000 less.
So you might as well spend the max.
So you might as well spend the max. But the thing is that I think the highest paid WNBA player might be making a little over $100,000
for a season.
Yeah, and Diana Taurasi.
Do we know how long their season is?
Their season's short. I mean, but the bottom line is they can go to Europe, okay, and at the height of the Spartak Moscow team, they were paying Taurasi about what, $500,000, and then who was the other girl? Sue Bird, about $340,000.
And mind you, those stats are from 2009, and I found a 2010 article. I found a 10 or 11 article that Diana Taurasi said, yeah, those are old numbers.
Now, those old numbers. Because of the economic conditions, they are not paying those female basketball players as much over Russia. However, there is a team that Candace Parker is playing for, and it's reported that she's making about $1 million, give or take a couple $100,000. Okay, but that give or take I'm throwing at you right now, George, that give or take a couple $100,000, that's like what you're making at the WNBA.
It's still if you're making $100,000 in the WNBA and this guy's paying you $1 million, you're getting 10 times the amount to do the same thing.
And this is what I told George. At some point, you got to play it smart. I mean, you go to school for an education, obviously, so you can make a living and stuff like that. And college is going nowhere. I mean, you definitely want to be educated. But a lot of the reasons people go to college is so that they can make a good living. Yeah. Now, when you have the opportunity to make a good living immediately, you're looking at someone like Brittney Griner with her skills could go overseas and make $1 million possibly. That is like making 6 figures for 10 years. You got to jump on that shit. You got to take advantage of that.
Diana Taurasi said, look, I'm playing in the winter, and then I turn right around. There's no off season for these girls.
No.
They're playing back-to-back seasons. And Diana Taurasi goes, look, I'm getting older. I need to take some time off. And she's like, I'm not taking time off from this European league.
Fuck no.
Why would I?
No.
So basically what we're getting at is if you're Brittney Griner, what do you do? And to me, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. You got to cash in while you're young and still healthy. She could easily command $1 to $1.5 million.
She could walk from Baylor right now and just. What happens if she's in an accident? What happens if she gets hurt? Greg Oden. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who? There you go. You sound like an owl. That's why, because that motherfucker has not seen hardly any games in the NBA.
87.5 minutes.
87.5 minutes, and look at him, big guy, big. You know, these big guys and
it's tough
in her case, a big woman, you can fall apart pretty easy and break up.
So, I don't know.
Let us know what you guys would do if you were Brittney Griner.
Chucking deuces.
Yeah, I'm chucking deuces.
I'm going to learn how to get me a translator because the one thing we didn't touch on.
Drink some vodka.
Back in 2009.
Wrestle Bears with Fedor.
Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi were getting paid those exceptional amounts, but guess what? They didn't have to pay for. They lived in a 6-bedroom villa that was the size of the Kremlin?
Yeah, the Kremlin.
Yeah, personal drivers as well as chefs. They had. I mean, there's stories about how they get flown on private jets and go on spending sprees. Yeah. So it's. I don't know.
I mean, it's to me, you're having fun. Obviously, it's like a vacation for these people. If you're passionate about the sport you play, something like you and I do a show, we love doing the show. Okay, if someone said, I can give you guys all that, and you can do your show overseas. I'm gonna tell you what,
dude. I'm learning whatever
we're putting
language.
The girls on hold. We getting them hats and some vodka, and I'll be like, we'll see you motherfuckers in 6 months, shorty.
It's probably a setup because Fedor's handler's gonna get us. That's what's happening.
Right, they'll get us.
But yeah, I can tell you right now, if somebody came to me and said, look, I'm gonna pay you $250,000 for a month's worth of work to come do this,
see you bye.
And you're paying for everything else.
Double see you
You're
bye.
paying for my house. You're paying for my food. You're paying for my car.
That's probably
dude. I just made
$250,000.
$250,000. I mean, and that's nothing. Yeah. Nothing compared
because
to what
when they're paying for all that stuff, you're banking that shit.
Right.
You know, I mean,
she has nothing to spend her money on, and all she's going to do is play sports.
Yeah. She could probably live on $20,000 a year if she had to. There.
She did, she would literally. She doesn't have to buy food. She doesn't have to pay rent. She would have to pay for a mobile phone. And on top of that, back in 2009, Sue Bird and Taurasi were guaranteed 3 flights home. Yeah. Coach on them. Yeah. Okay, so you take some of that $1 million you're going to get, fly first class, chuck the deuces, and
that's it. It's a wrap. It's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, not me either. Because I tell you what, the last thing any of us would want to see for Brittney Griner is her to come back to Baylor and suffer an ACL, a blown ankle, destroy a shoulder.
And you know what's funny? It doesn't even have to be a career-ending injury. It could be an injury that makes her, or she could come back to Baylor and not play as well. I mean, you at this point in time, you're at the top. You're at the top. Take advantage of being at the top. You're at the top of your game. Take advantage of being at the top of your game. And you're still young. You could go do that, and you have
take classes online and finish at Baylor.
Yep.
Like if your degree is even remotely important to you, because I don't know. Because in my opinion of you and watching your attitude and your
slamming on motherfuckers
and your demeanor and the way I've seen you look, I don't know anything but what I've seen on the court. You, in my opinion, are a female Charles Oakley. You are a thug. Right. You're an intimidator. You're an enforcer. You've run off the bench and got into a fist fight. You ran off the bench in this tournament to defend someone. In the NBA, you'd be ejected. Right. In college women's basketball, they were like,
don't mess with it.
Right. So I don't know what you're like. I'm sure you're a really nice person, but to me, you're Charles Oakley in a female's body. And I don't blame you. If I was fucking 6'8", I'd be like, move, bitch, get out the way, get out the way. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. Right. But I mean, if I had to make a comparison, she's Charles Oakley.
Yeah, with more money.
Could be.
Anyway,
so
we are
let us know what you think. What Brittney Griner should do.
Yeah, on the comment board. We're out.
Done?
Later, guys.
Done.
Fucking super done.
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 Like finished.
Fucking out of here.
No mas.
Finito.
Like women's MMA.